I think it's nice just to like change the tides of where we are. Like do the little things, like hold the door open, be nice to someone, smile,
have conversations with strangers. I miss that, yo.
Yeah.
Like I miss back in like I can't even say back in the day because I barely remember it. But like you'll watch old movies that are set in like not even old movies, like set in like the mid 2000s, where it was common for like you to pass someone on the street and just say, hey, how's it going? And you have no idea who that person is. Now it's like, I even hate the fact that like I wear AirPods everywhere because it's like, that's just, if someone's has AirPods in, it's like an immediate, like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
And then even if you don't have AirPods in, you're looking down at your phone. Yeah. And it's like, holding the door open, just saying, hey, how's it going? I always make it a priority. I do a lot of my online classes in like the new house, like, they call them edit suites. Okay. They're just like storage closets with Mac desktops. So it's nice. But anytime like I sign in to use one, I always make it a priority to like say hi to the person who's doing their work study, like making sure people are getting signed in. Cause it's like, come on, you don't have to be so disconnected that you just pretend like no one else is around.
Yeah, that is nice. It does kind of feel like this technology is disconnecting us.
Big time.
Yeah. And I was saying while I was setting up these freaking cameras, how I hate technology. I mean, I love technology at the sense it's helpful. I gotta say, pretty helpful.
Communication is unreal in terms of how easy it is.
Yeah, it is really helpful, but I think we're losing a little bit of our humanity. Yeah. And it is connecting us, but at what cost? Because now, like, we get involved with all this social media shit where it's really just propaganda for yourself, like showing, look how good my life is, look how great this is. Well, meanwhile, you're crying in a bathtub with candles and a nice chamomile tea. But it's just, I don't know. I think my friend said it best. We're in a trial error of technology because when we think about it, how long has the internet really been around? Like 20 years, like our lives.
Yeah. I don't even know if you can say like the internet as a whole is such an anomaly because I remember when I was like 10 and I got my first iPod, an iPod Nano. Right?
Yeah, baby.
I would go up to my dad's office and I would boot up the computer and it would take 7 minutes to turn on. And I didn't like, that was like, oh, no problem. Yeah. Now, if like my Face ID can't recognize me with my face mask on, I'm like ready to throw a fit. Yeah. And it's been 2 seconds. And it's like, the patience is we're definitely losing it. But yeah, I like what I'm saying though is like the internet where it was when I was like downloading songs from my iPod Nano, like no one was surfing the web for 3 hours straight. Yeah. You would wait for everything to boot up. You'd buy a couple songs on iTunes and be done in 30 minutes. The internet, like where it is today in terms of it being in our pockets and so easily accessible, it's only been around for like a decade if we're considering it like that.
Yeah. And I feel like the big tech companies are kind of taking advantage of our human brain. Like they know what makes us stay on. They know what releases those dopamines.
What kills me is TikTok. Obviously everyone gets roped into TikTok, so just like next thing you know, what do you mean it's been 2 hours? Like
fuck.
Anytime I do appreciate now that they do those ads where it's like you've been scrolling for way too long, I'm like thank you for like snapping me out of this paradox I'm in. But what TikTok does is with their notifications, I've noticed is whenever a live stream starts of someone you're following, the notification reads person X is inviting you to watch their live stream. And it makes you feel like, oh, they want me to watch? Like it's so personable that they give that notification to everyone. So they literally know like philosophically or just like, mentally, like you're going to respond better when it's personal like that. And that's how they rope you in. Snapchat too. It's like, here's your memory for today. Don't you remember how great this day was? Like stay on the app a little longer. Yeah. The only app, social media app that I don't despise is Twitter. And I'm sure I will eventually, just because, the larger following you get, the more toxic people you attract. But for now, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, I hate them all. But
how do you use Twitter? Because I'm not on Twitter. Like I've never got into it.
I had a terrible Twitter for a while, just because like when I first got it, it was like, I think I first got my Twitter account in like middle school, just because I was like, whoa, what's social media? Like, let's get on this. And then you get roped into the everyone just wants a lot of followers. So like I started following a lot of like follow back accounts, which just like your timeline is tailored to who you follow. Okay. So by just doing a bunch of follow back accounts, you're like corrupting the algorithm to show you stuff like you don't really care about. And then because I created my Twitter when I was too young, freshman year, I noticed that my birthday and my bio was wrong. And I was like, oh, what's that about? So I went to change it. And then they were like, we noticed, like, oh, you changed it, which means you were too young when you created it, locked out forever. What? And I was so pissed because I was like, damn, I had like a lot of good tweets and like I had built like a small following, but nothing like major. But then when I was forced to restart, that's kind of why I love Twitter, because I was forced to restart. So from the jump, I was only following people I wanted to follow. So my timeline was like pretty like pure, if you will. And then, I don't know what I would do if I lost my Twitter today, because I've gained like, ever since we launched the podcast in October, I've gained like humble brag, but like 500 followers. But it's like, those are people who like care about my content. Yeah. And so if I lost that, I feel like I would lose a portion of my audience, which sucks, because if I ever start to like hate Twitter, you lose part of your career. It's so essential to be on social media with like the fields we're pursuing. So even if you get like out of touch, you can never leave forever, or else you're going to sacrifice a little bit of like your audience. Yeah, it does seem like the fields we're in is dependent on tech, like all social medias, because the more platforms you're on, the bigger the reach you have. And like if you're on Instagram, Snapchat, social or Twitter, social media, in general,
just all of them. Like you do have a bigger reach, and I just don't want to do it. I'm very content. I go on my Instagram. I have like a Bad Role Models Instagram where I just post stories that I find interesting. Yeah. And that's that. There you go. And that's what I do. And they're mostly dog videos or space shit or news. Yeah. And it's really fun because I'm like, my whole thing is I like this. Like that's the only, I don't even use my personal account anymore. I just go on that and just look at the interesting feeds, and I post it if people want to look. Okay. You can look. I like it, so that's what I'm gonna keep doing. That's the way to go about it. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I just saw Big Daddy Zuckerberg. Did you see the Facebook for Kids? I did not, dude, but I believe it. He's like, you know what? I got an idea. Yeah. Let's make a Facebook for kids, or an Instagram for kids, or some shit like that. It's like, that's such a shitty idea. I hate Facebook. I have it because I needed to make one to like enter the Syracuse class like group chat or whatever. How are we still on Facebook? We're not 50 years old. I know. Facebook's so like out of touch, and it's kind of like ridiculous too, because it's like some of my uncles and aunts, like that's their only way of like seeing my content. But I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm never posting. I'm never posting any of like my podcast updates or career updates on Facebook. Like if you want to see, like, I'll tell you about it at Thanksgiving in person. Like I'm not like, I still post Twitter's my most consistent app. Instagram, I saw a tweet the other day that was like, why is posting on Instagram so embarrassing? And I'm like, why is it? I hate that there's like a stigma of like, all right, I just posted this photo. Hopefully this caption isn't too cringy. Yeah. Hopefully I get X amount of likes, or else I feel like my self-worth is going down. Like that's why I can't stand Instagram these days. And then Snapchat's only beneficial because going into college, it's an excuse to like maintain relationships with people from home, even if you're not like talking. Yeah, you're just seeing their face every day. It's nice to see their face. Hey, it's every now and then you like someone like friends wearing a suit. Oh, you got a formal today? What's going on? Oh, cool. Like nice life update and stuff like that. But like Facebook, you could hold a gun to my head and I'm like, I'm not posting on Facebook. No status updates, none of that. Only for the games I like the Facebook, because it's like signing with Facebook. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the only good thing. But I do like Snapchat because it's like, here's my face. There's your face. I missed seeing your face, and I'll see you soon. Yeah. But Instagram's interesting because, because for me, I listen to like a lot of Rogan. Like he's my guy that I like listening to. He's great. He's interesting. Yeah. I find him cool. But he always talks about how he posts something. He calls it like a post and dump, or like he posts it and then doesn't look at it. Because most people, like, it's very manipulative, because you're right. It does make you feel like the likes, it gives you gratification, or it gives you a sense of worth. Dopamine. Yeah. Like there's studies on it. Yeah. It's crazy. So when we know it does that, it's so easy to get hooked in that, thinking this X amount of likes or X amount of followers means I'm worth this. But in reality, it doesn't. Like, I think Instagram should be used for, like, you post something for your friends to see. This is an update of where I am. I went to Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Here is me in Mount Everest.
Yeah.
But it does seem, because we see it all the time, because this is why I hate the media.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy for, like, the Kardashians or these TikTok Charli D'Amelio to get a bunch of views just because they're dancing or doing something, and they think this is what it takes to be worth something.
Yeah.
You know, when you're that young, it's like, oh, this is what gets them attention. This is what I need to do to be loved.
Yeah.
But it's not, because now Charli, I'm not reading the news, but I see it on my Snapchat feed.
Yeah.
It's like, Charli D'Amelio is breaking down. She's in the spotlight. And we saw it with Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber, all these stars. Fuck you, stars. Like, to put your child through that, it's ridiculous. And everyone holds them to a different standard, too. Just because they're on TV or on this, they think they're like gods.
Yeah.
When in reality, we're all just people.
Yeah.
And we don't know shit. So I feel bad for these kids because they get all this spotlight and they think this is what I need to get love, because they're like, I'll use pageant moms. They put their kid out there and it's like, oh, if I'm a pageant person, maybe my mom will love me. You know, like, we all do that. We want all our parents, like, love. We want people to like us. And we think this is what it is, but I really think it's just a dangerous trap, because I don't think it's not ever going to bring us satisfaction. And that's why he does the post and dump.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I try to do. Like, I try not to look at my view counts on YouTube or anything, because, like, at the beginning, I was looking, I'm like, fuck, how did this only get, like, 2 views? That sucks. Like, it pissed me off. And then I'm like, okay, I have to stop looking. Like, I can't look anymore. But now I like to look just to compare, to see, okay, am I growing? Like, is this actually working?
Yeah.
But it is a trap. Like, back for before, you have to find the balance. We can't keep we can't measure our worth based on how many people watch or how many people like or subscribe. I think we have to measure it on, like, how much we enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's a funny story, actually, just like with everything you're bringing up. We were doing very good numbers for our WandaVision reviews, just because, like, Marvel was back after taking a year off, and, like, people were excited. Everything was hot. We were averaging, like, between 11 and 1,200 downloads an episode. And it was like, oh, this is great. This is our new standard. And then after WandaVision finished, our very next episode, during that gap between WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, that 1 week, we dipped to, like, 800 downloads. And it's like, the previous week being 1,200, like, that's a 1/3, like, 33% drop. I was like, no, what's going on? And I was, like, so upset. And then I was like, but why? Why am I upset? Like, I thought it was a good episode. Who cares? And then same with Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, the hype was just a lot less for it, and I went in expecting less downloads. And, like, we still flirted with, like, 950, 1,000, but it wasn't what WandaVision was doing. And I remember at first being, like, a little discouraged, because I'm like, damn, why aren't we doing as good numbers as we did with WandaVision? And then I was like, but who cares? Like, I'm still, like, I'm getting paid the same amount of money. I'm still enjoying it, and that's kind of changed my approach. I recently, when I interviewed Elijah Richardson, who plays Eli Bradley on the show, I remember I was having, like, not like a shitty day, but, like, a day where it was a Thursday. Yeah, it was last Thursday, and I had an 8 a.m. that day. So, like, when I have an 8 a.m., like, I like to have, like, a big breakfast. So, like, I'll wake up at, like, 6, which is still, like, it's still brutal. Don't get me wrong. It's voluntary, but it's still like, this sucks. And I was also, like, a little, like, congested because, like, pollen was, like, very high. And I was like, man, this is not clicking right now. But I had, like, a nice hour of downtime before the interview got started. So I, like, got to get in the zone. And then we chatted for, like, 15 minutes. And this kid was so cool to talk to. And after the interview wrapped up, I legit, like, could not stop smiling. And it was so weird because I was, like so over, like, flowing with happiness. And so we just dropped that interview on the podcast. And the numbers are not WandaVision numbers, but, like, it hasn't changed my appreciation. Like, I'm still like, dude, that made me so happy. And, like, I legit walked away from that interview being like, I want to do this shit for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm talking to the supporting stars forever. I don't care if I'm talking to stunt coordinators. Like, I might never get the Robert Downey Jr.'s or Chris Evans. Okay. It doesn't change the fact that, like, I can't stop smiling. And like, it's so, as we get older, I've realized like when you are happy, you really got to like bottle that, because like, not that it's rare, but it's not guaranteed every day. Definitely. And so not. Like when that feeling like that happens, I like pause and I'm like, how did I achieve this feeling? Okay, I achieved this feeling because I did like an interview with someone who gave like really dope stories. And I was like, okay, I need to keep doing that, because then I'll keep getting that feeling. And it's like, you know, that's all you can ask for.
No, it really is, because I like to think of this stuff. Oh, no, Eitan Taub. No phone call for you.
Telemarketer?
No.
You win a free trip to
my
the...
friend. Yeah. But I think I wish I won a free trip. That'd be awesome. If those telemarketer calls were real.
I wish just one was real.
Does this Saudi Arabia prince really need my money to buy gold? You know what? You could have it.
Sure.
Fuck, they work hard.
Yeah.
Or they work hard. If they worked as hard on like a real profession other than scheming people, they'd be very successful.
Yeah, it's the same philosophy as like when you put all the effort into making cheat sheets for an exam. It's like just study.
You'd get the same way.
Yeah.
The people are just so stuck on just trying to cheat the system.
Yeah.
Just work with it. It's much easier.
Yeah. You ever see the Key and Peele sketch where it's like, we're going to rob this bank. How do we rob the bank? All right, first, we're going to deceive them. We're going to get jobs, right? We're going to work there. We're going to work there for 30 years. And by year 10, we're going to get a promotion. We're going to make more money. And then they're like, so when do we rob them? It's like, no, that's the thing. They're going to pay us month by month. And then it's like, this sounds like a job. It's like, it's easier that way.